Alright, everybody out there in the Craft Chest Nation, it is I, Craft Chest, here once again to do a vlog about Path of Exile, and to let you know that here in the near future I'm going to be doing a couple of build related videos on Path of Exile to give you an idea of how to build a character if you're first starting out. And understand something, I know a lot of people out there that talk bad about softcore, talk bad about domination, and anything that doesn't have a harsh penalty on death. And people say if you're not playing Nemesis, if you're not playing hardcore, then you're nobody, whatever. They just leave those elitists alone. Because everybody out there knows that anytime that we've ever made any videos in the past about Diablo 2, Lord of Destruction, that we've always given you our opinion on how to make a character, even if you don't have the top tier gear, and make it work. And that's what I try to do here in Path of Exile, because I'm kind of a solo player, kind of like one of those self-found type of players, if you will, and self-made. I do a lot of crafting. I do a lot of just farming to find gear that I can make into better gear. Because in this game, even though you get a piece of shit gear, you do have the chance of turning it into something more, even without a Herodric Cube. Now, Path of Exile has its official release, has had it for a couple of weeks now, the 1.0.0, and they are coming up with another patch, which is supposed to do some balance changes and a few other things, which I'm not even going to begin to touch on that. Once again, I'll put a link right down here in the description, as I always do, to all the pertaining channels and descriptions and everything that you need to know about whatever I'm talking about. But what this is all about is to let everybody out there know I have so many people that watch the stream and that I have on my friends list that have tried to play Nemesis but haven't played Path of Exile before. And I will urge you to try either Domination or Standard Core play before jumping into Nemesis, because if you don't have just a little bit of advanced knowledge on how to make a character sustainable in higher levels, you will fail. It has taken me this long, albeit I haven't played as much as I wanted to, but it has taken me this long since Nemesis has started to get a level 60 character. I do plan on taking that character even further, but I'm taking my time. I'm doing a lot of crafting. I'm doing a lot of, I wouldn't say respecs, but skill changes and tweaks to make it to where later on it'll be easy mode for me to go to Act 2, Act 3, and even into the in-game mapping. One thing that I haven't really tried to do yet is push hard to get there, because I don't feel comfortable where I sit right now because of some of the special skills that the rare monsters have, like Corrupted Blood or Overwhelming Lightning. There's one called Storm Herald. The Corrupted Blood, though, is OP. That's just fucking broken right there. But you can make a staunching potion which stops bleeding instantly, and you'll be okay, at least to get out of the way of a mob if you can't kill it. Alright? And that's what I want to talk about here, because it's hard to talk about how to do these things in a 15-minute period of time, a 30-minute period of time for that. But I want to give everybody the heads up. If you haven't played Path of Exile, I encourage you, urge you, to play either Standard or Domination. Play Domination. That's a 4-month race. It's only been going on a couple of weeks, and it doesn't matter if you die or not. You do get a penalty, XP penalty, which most games when you die do give those XP penalties, but it's not like you get thrown into Standard League and you lose all your loot. Now, it is a separate currency if you have played Path of Exile in the past and it's been a little while since you've played. Standard Core is a total separate inventory than it is on Domination, than it is on Hardcore, and than it is on Nemesis. And currently I'm playing on Nemesis, and I feel comfortable where I'm at, but I don't feel comfortable going forward into the higher levels, and that's why I'm taking my time. One of the things that I will say in this video, if you're starting out and you just insist on doing Nemesis and doing Hardcore because that's how you roll, I will encourage you to not worry too much about getting the utility. Let me minimize this so I can actually look at the skill tree, because I have the skill tree up on my desktop as a background, but I've noticed a lot of people will go like take the entire center, bottom center of the map to get all the evasion nodes, and then I'll notice that they'll go down and they'll get all the damage nodes, and they're missing out on some of the key nodes such as regen, life nodes, resistance nodes, and block nodes. Because if you use a shield, which I do, your block nodes increases your chance of blocking incoming attacks no matter what they are. And currently my block rate and damage reduction on my character is 68%, and I think going forward I can even increase that up to 75%. I don't know what the cap is on it, but that's the plan. And once you hit 75%, you got a lot of sustainability, but you still need to watch out for your resistances: fire, cold, lightning, especially chaos damage, and especially corrupted blood, because that's a total different skill on its own. And corrupted blood, if you don't have regen, it'll go whoosh and just suck your life out instantly if you don't have staunching potion or high regen. So I would encourage you to go to the pathing tree at Path of Exile site, because they do have a tree that you can play with. There are programs out there. I don't know which one is up to date. I haven't downloaded the latest version of the desktop to where you don't have to be online or anything, and you can just mess around and it gives you percentages and all that. I do need to update that because that is a tool that I want to use in the future for letting people know my opinion on builds. And I will tell you this: there are no wrong builds other than not taking care of three key things, and I just touched on them: your life and life regen, your mana and your mana regen, because you gotta have, you don't have to have mana. You can go full on blood magic if you want to, but you better stack every life node that you can, and of course your resistances. And if you get those three things balanced out with your gear, you'll be okay. We talk a lot about this in the stream whenever people stop by or people playing with me and they say, good Lord, what's up with your DPS and how come you're not taking damage? Well, it's all with the pathing coupled with the gear that I'm wearing. And once again, I'm one of those kind of like solo self-found type players and self-made. Now there are things that I trade for, but usually it's a piece of gear that I just farm and haven't found it yet, and somebody might have found what I'm looking for. It's not like one of those totally, oh, I don't do trades, I'm one of those. No, I do trade for things. I'm about to need to start trading for links or fuses and chromes, which changes the color setting of your sockets in the gear. Now I know if you haven't played Path of Exile, I'm speaking Greek to you. So that's why I encourage everybody, come to the stream, watch what we do. You'll see a lot of times I'll be staring at the skill tree and we'll be going over different things about where do I need to path next? Where's my next 5 to 10 levels going to be? Because you don't just pick, you know, a skill point when you level up and go, well, I'm going to go this way. Well, I'm going to go that way. And then you end up looking like you got a briar patch going on your skill tree, rather than a laid out, you know, set of skills that, hey, I'm building this. I want a tank, so I gotta have regen. I'm building a tank, so I have to have armor. I have to have block rate. I have to have resistances. If you're wanting, because I've noticed a few people, I want to build a tank to just stand there and take it. Well, you gotta balance those. You can't just go full on evasion and expect to survive. I've had several people that have died on Nemesis. I think so far everybody that I know that I've played with, less one, I don't think Crazy Cracker died. But anyway, I think he's the only one, if I'm not mistaken, that hasn't died. I may be wrong, but everybody else, I think there's like 6 people that I know that have played on there, and all of them had to start over a couple of times because of, you know, one of those 3 set things, mainly resistances and mainly getting one shot because they don't have enough life stack to be able to take hits from like either Vol Slam or a big one that will get you real quick, or those alchemists down in the sewers, because their chaos damage sometimes will hit you for a crit and it's like, oh my god. So yeah, but anyway, main thing is just remember, whenever you're pathing on a skill tree, go to the Path of Exile skill tree, you know, router, you know, where you can pick a class, you can pick your tree and all that. And we may go over a video here in the near future. I'll turn on the live broadcaster and show you my pathing on the characters that I have respect on standard, and the 2 that I have going on right now on Nemesis. Alright, so just as always, everybody out there, I want to get these videos to you about Path of Exile, because yes, it is very like Diablo gameplay wise, but it is so different as far as skill sets, as far as stat points, as far as, you know, your gear and what your gear gives you. Life is not like the thing to have, but life is a very good thing to have. okay? Because here's another thing that I want to touch on. If you have enough attack speed and you have enough leech, okay, on the right weapon with your all 4 set things, you can have a lot more sustainability as well, because my character right now, as she sits, is 1/10 of a point away from having 12% life leech, and that is, in my opinion, very good for where she sits at level 60, and it can only get better. And I don't even have the node over here, I forget what it's called, but there's another node on the skill tree that I could get to pick it up 2 more percent. All right, so there you go. And gear can also have those leeches. Rings can have them. Ammies can have them. You know, any part of your gear can have leech on it. There's a lot of gear out there that's got mana leech. If you have a character that's really mana heavy, you can get those. All right, so keep all that in mind. And I hope I didn't ramble too much, but I'm going to end it here. So I invite everybody, come down to the stream, hang out with us whenever we're doing it. Follow me on Twitter, that way you know when I go live. If you follow me on Twitch, you'll get email alerts, or just stop by and check your follow every now and again and watch us play some Path of Exile. Now, I'm not always going ham and just doing maps and experience, because like I said, I'm being very meticulous about this because it's hardcore. I don't want to get to that higher level and go, well, mine's the shit, and then fall off like some of the top 10 players, top 20 players have here in the recent couple of weeks. All right, it's a 4-month race. It's a marathon, not really even a race. All right, the object of the game is survivability, not getting level 100 overnight. It's a craft of the mind, everybody. No matter if you play Path of Exile or Peggle, go out there and have some fun.